Ang isa pang katanungan ko kahapon ay tungkol naman po sa tuberculosis TB. Sabi ko kay Academician Charles Yu and then siyempre po sa ibang kasama natin na ano naman ang masasabi po. Bakit meron pa, wala pa kayong pinag-aaralan na maari para makabawas ng hirap sa mga meron TB, di ba? Meron tayong gamot, nagte-take sila ng gamot, kailangan 6 months to 6 months, tapos kailangan tuloy-tuloy, hindi pwede maputol. Once na nalimutan ninyo ng i-take ng isang araw, isang linggo, at nasa ika-3 buwan na kayo, pero nalimutan po niyo, mag-start na naman kayo sa day 1. So mag-start na naman kayo ng day 1 hanggang mabuo mo yung 6 na buwan. So ano naman ang masasabi po ninyo dito na meron na ba kayong pinag-aaralan o research o pag-aaral na papaano natin mabawasan ang pagte-take ng mga TB drugs na para hindi nahihirapan ang mga pasyente?
Drug-resistant TB that used to be treated for 18 months with painful injections has now been reduced to 6 months, not pure oral. Yung dating ordinary drug-sensitive TB from 6 months, there are already good studies that it can be as short as 4 months and some evidence growing that can be as early as 2 months with the new drugs that they have introduced. Pero tama yung point mo because people start dropping off in the treatment when they no longer feel anything, and that usually happens around the 5th month of treatment and then develops drug-resistant strains when it comes back. So tama yung point. But we have to understand TB is not just a biologic disease. It is associated in the Philippines with undernutrition, alcoholism, smoking, diabetes, not so much sa HIV, but in other countries, HIV. So in order to lick the problem of TB, which happened in the West, you improve the economic conditions of the patients, and many of the TB patients will get better just by nutrition alone or increasing their weights, their BMI. However, hindi lang disease na nang mahihirap ang TB. There is a rising number of diabetics. We have millions of diabetics, more than the 1 million a year na TB. And because of that, and because of nutritional and the rise in the cardiovascular diseases, then the TB will also stick to that group. So hindi totoo na sakit lang siya ng mahihirap. It's not true, it's just only the poor. I see now patients younger, in their 20s, in their 30s, very, very successful people who work in the call centers, are entrepreneurs, but they don't sleep. They're addicted to social media. They're addicted to TikTok. They don't sleep, and that is a powerful tool of the tubercle bacilli. So we're seeing TB in the very young groups, and in those who are we call so-called armies of the night, those who are working in call centers. That is the wave that we are seeing now.
Tapos nagbe-vape pa, sir. Di ba? Vaping pa, Jimmy.
Just in addition to what Dr. Charles Hughes mentioned, it is also important to note that the TB strains circulating globally are not the same for all locations, and they have different characteristics. We have shown through a study I was involved in that actually identified the unique characteristic of that strain circulating in the Philippines. In fact, it's been called the EAI2 Manila strain because it's unique to the Philippines. It is different from the strain you see in China or in other parts of Asia. But it's interesting to know that this particular strain has been seen in second-generation Filipinos abroad. So they looked at, for example, in US communities, American communities, Filipino ancestry, and they saw that even their children, when they developed TB, maybe they had latent TB before they came, their parents came to the US, belong to the EAI2 Manila strain. I mentioned that because we have an ongoing study to characterize the EAI2 Manila strain, which is unique to the Philippines. By the way, it's a predominant strain. We've done genomic studies on TB circulating in the Philippines. 80 to 85% of the TB strain in the Philippines belongs to this family. We have studies now to look at the molecular characteristic of this TB strain so that we can develop a vaccine. Because you know, the BCG, which has been time and again developed initially to protect us from TB disease is not working, especially with countries that are highly endemic for TB. It only prevents complicated TB when you get vaccine BCG before you reach the age of 12. So, but otherwise, it does not prevent infection or disease. So we want to have a vaccine that will prevent infection disease, targeting the strain that is circulating in the Philippines. You know, vaccines kasi, it has to be country, depending on the prevailing strain. Influenza vaccine, for example, is not cast in stone every year. It is based on the predominant strain circulating the previous year. And that's included in the vaccine. So we have to consider all of this. So we're doing studies already, and with advances in science technology, with our strong advocates, we hope that we can do something about this, and especially with the creation of the Virology and Vaccine Institute of the Philippines. Thank you.
Okay, additional info from Dr.
Out its results. We are not a site. Indonesia is one of the major sites. But the preview of the results that I saw are not very good. Kasi a new vaccine must be better than BCG. And ang kanilang cut-off is 50. Basta mag-work lang siya ng more than 50% tatanggapin. And yet the data they are gathering for this new vaccine is falling just below 50 at the moment. So tama yon, and if I may acknowledge, the development of the MTB na na-discover na unique sa atin is a work of scientists across the world. But Dr. Montoya is the pioneering investigator for that strain. And actually, so hindi totoo na imported ang TB sa Pilipinas. We have been harboring the TB for millennia here in the country. And so it is also good na they're developing a vaccine uniquely suited to the Manila or Philippine strain, because that might work better than the cross-country vaccines that don't seem to be working.
Okay.
Gentlemen, as we conclude the first day of our press conference, may second day pa po, tomorrow yung second day. For the 47th Annual Scientific Meeting, I would like to extend our deepest appreciation to all our speakers, media partners, and guests for a productive and insightful day. The theme of this year's meeting, Bioscience Innovations, Transforming Enterprise Ecosystems for Wealth Creation, remind us of the tremendous potential of science to uplift communities and build a more resilient and sustainable future. Today's exchanges have brought that vision to life as we heard firsthand about bioscience, our media partners for helping bring these ideas to the broader public. Your coverage plays a crucial role in translating science into stories that resonate with the people, spark conversations, and inspire change. As we look forward to tomorrow's session, may we carry the momentum and curiosity we built today. Together, let us continue fostering dialogue, sharing knowledge, and building stronger bridges between science and society. Tomorrow po ang